Yes, you're live.
Right. Yeah, it normally gives me another little thing to tick. So, hello everybody, if anybody is listening, and welcome to Tina's Garden Chat. And I'm in a different place tonight. You won't have, not many people will have seen this room, because this is the corner of my gym. So I can connect my computer up by wire, so we don't get no cutting out. So I'm going to have a guest with me tonight, which is Babette. If she's online now, say hello. You might not be online. And what I'm first going to talk about is, well, it's really a question-answer type of a chat, because one or two people has asked me things in the past, and recently I've got a lot of people that's watched me from when I used to have an allotment, and I've got a few new people that probably doesn't even know that I used to have an allotment. So somebody asked me the other day why I gave up my allotment, and do I regret giving up my allotment? The answer to why I gave up my allotment's quite complicated, really. It was lots of little bits and bobs, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. But do I regret giving up my allotment? No, I don't. I love my garden, and I love being able to just walk out the door in the morning with my cup of tea, look round, check my plants, and sit and drink my tea and have a bit of peace, and my dogs round me. And if anybody has not seen some photos of my garden, we should be seeing a picture now. Well, at least I think you should be seeing a picture now. Yes, that should be it. So this is my little corner that I sit in the morning and drink my tea and watch the birds. And we should be back to me now.
Yep, you're back.
That's I can't do things quick enough. It's not I'm not doing my finger work quick enough.
It's all new.
Yes, it's all new. Hold on, I've lost my chat's gone. All right, yes. Oh, 50 Shades of Green's here. Hello, 50 Shades of Green. So I'll go on to why I got rid of my allotment. 50 Shades of Green will know a bit of this. He's seen some photos in the past of one of the reasons that I gave up. But the biggest reason I gave up the allotment was I couldn't have my dogs down there. Well, I could, but they got to be chained up. So I spent a lot of time in the garden or down at the allotment when I was at the allotment. So my dogs, I don't like them chained up. They like to just laze about and lay around while I'm doing things. But the reason that they had to be tied up was we'd moved allotments. The allotment that me and my dad was on, we both had a plot of his own, and it was going to be redeveloped and built on. So we all on and on for a long time till we thought it was about the last minute, but then it had a reprieve, and actually they still haven't built on it. They just started knocking things down at the minute. Well, this is years back. So we decided to move, and because my dad was getting old and couldn't cope very much with his allotment on his own, and I was helping him do his, we decided to have a joint allotment. So we moved to a different allotment group, and there was a slight, well, there was a waiting list, and we was offered one or two different ones, you know, like, oh, you could have this one or that one. When it come to giving us the allotment, they gave us one we had to share with somebody, and that was the problem with the dogs. Because you've got a shared allotment, it was fenced off, but there was 2 people on it. I couldn't let the dogs just roam around and do what they want, could I? So, and then it didn't help that part of the plot came across in between 2 of my sections. They didn't split it just down in half. It was complicated. So there was lots of things like politics on that allotment that I wasn't very keen on and stuff. And then there was a massive, great big fire. And it went up with me stood at the side of it, this big garage that had been there. Actually, that garage was older than me. It had been there from the allotments first starting.
Really long time.
And my husband's interfering and he's going to get his bum smacked.
Ooh.
So, oh, I'm not watching the chat, sorry. Hi to anybody new that's arrived. And so I was busy putting strawberries in one day, and I could smell smoke, and I thought, you're not supposed to have a fire in the summer. So I stood up and looked round to see where the smoke was coming from. And the next thing, the wall of the garage at the side of me, which is as close to me as this computer is, went up. And then there was exploding gas tanks and pieces of asbestos flying about all over everywhere. And it took out about half of my allotment, all my fruit bushes, my fruit trees, the lot. And even though I did stay on for the following year, we couldn't like touch that area because of all the asbestos. They got to have somebody come and clear it up, and we kept asking them when they were going to come and sort it out, and it never kind of got done. So after the following year of still only having a little bit at the bottom and my tunnel, but it was a shared tunnel. Excuse the dogs.
Nina, when the dogs take off, turn your microphone off.
Yes, that's a good idea.
They're quiet now. But
Yeah.
if they start it up again, just hit the little mic up on the top until it turns red.
Oh yeah, I see it. I remember. I think. Hold on, just a minute.
Just remember to turn it back on.
Yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. I've shut the door. I think somebody's gone in or out the front door. So sorry about that. This is why I should lock myself in my summer house. I'm going to see if the cable will reach to there for next time. So
Asbestos in the garden.
yes, so a lot of asbestos all over the place. And then my dad, Alzheimer's got really bad, so he was taking less and less interest in the garden. So I decided I couldn't be doing with all the hassle and everything, because there was quite, there's quite a bit of problems with people that we were sharing with, and after all this happened, which it was just too much. I couldn't be bothered anymore. So I came home and I turned the top half of the garden into my veg garden, and well, it does get a lot of flowers as well. So the front piece of the garden is a seating area and the dog area, and it's got my summer house in it. And then the top part of the garden is has got a tunnel on it, and some raised beds and lots of pots. And for people that watch a lot, they'll know I love my dahlias. So we've got loads and loads of dahlias. So I will show you again some pictures. So if I can just mess with this thing and show you, hold on. I've gone and messed it. No, I haven't. There we are. I'm not very quick with this sharing thing. Sorry. There we are. Can you see?
Yes, now, if you go into the bottom corner, there's an arrow pointing in 2 directions. If you click on that, it will fill the whole screen.
Yeah, but then we're like, oh yes, I still get my, there we are. So these are some of my dahlias.
And a bumblebee.
And a bumblebee. And this is me yesterday in the tunnel with my tomatoes when my friend came to visit.
My word.
So, and there's one, finally, one starting to go red about here, down here this morning. So soon I'll be able to eat some of these tomatoes. So when there we are, I've got to change the. So this is my pumpkin of today. So it's quite big now. It's starting to go even more orange. So
the video didn't change. Oh,
didn't
wait,
it?
I'm on the. There we go. I'm on the wrong.
I'm sorry, Babette.
No, it's not you. I forgot to go back to Chrome. I was watching Yahoo, so there's a delay, or Firefox, so there's a delay.
And
so,
if anybody else has appeared on the chat, welcome. I'm not very good at doing 2 things at once these days. I'm getting old. Blame it on my age, eh? So this is another one of my dahlias, and this one I really like, but it's not looking at its best at the minute. The trouble with this dahlia is, soon as it rains, it fills up with water and it pulls the heads down, and they never seem the same up until it rained about 4 days ago now. They look beautiful. They really need to be grown under cover. A lot of the people that show them grow them with a roof over the top to stop the rain hitting them. But it was beautiful until we had some rain. But we needed some rain, didn't we? We've got to have rain. Oh, excuse my bum. If it's not my husband that's taking photographs of me bending over, it's my friend. But I was picking her. Brain dead. Cucumber. And this is the thanks for providing her with cucumbers. She takes a photograph of my bum. This is the last of the tree lilies. That's the last one, and it's nearly over, nearly gone. And then I'll be able to chop all my tree lilies down. And my white pom-pom. A lot of you have already seen some of these on the videos I've been doing recently. And this is the one I was telling you.
Okay. I'll look at them again. They're so pretty.
This one was the one I was telling you about in the last video that is going whiter round the edges. The new ones that are coming out are nearly white till the centre bits, because the sun's bleaching them. And these,
so that would be another reason to put a roof over them.
Yeah, to keep the sun off them. If you show them, they go to an awful lot of trouble with the feeding and the watering, and they constantly spraying them with insect repellent because of the black fly, because they're prone to black fly. So if you show them, it's a lot of hard work. And I did take a photograph. This next photo's my yellow tumbling tom, and I did take a photograph. It wasn't very sharp. I've actually got one that's turning yellow. So finally, I'm getting some tomatoes. So for them that
you get to sample it.
Yeah. So for them that's not seen a bit more of a wide angle view of the garden, this is the view from the dog area. So we go over the fence and up to the tunnel, and the dogs have this side of the fence, and you can see it's not a very big fence at all, just a little picket fence. but my dogs know they're not allowed over there, so they never jump it. They could jump it easily. My pointer can, you know, at the farmer's gates, the big, about 5 foot farmer's gates, she could clear that easy. So this would be no trouble. But she knows they know they're not supposed to go up there, so they're good doggies and they don't go up there. Is that Patricia? Hi, Patricia. Is it Patricia? I think it says Patricia. My phone's got only a little writing on, and I ain't got my reading glasses on. I've got my computer glasses on. So this is Freya, and this is the view of their area. And if you can see the mouse, this area here is all coming out over the winter, and I think we're going to have a new fence. And the horrible ivy, I'm going to wage war on it again. And for people that watch my channel a lot, they know I'm always waging war on that ivy. The person that put that ivy in before we moved in has got a lot to answer for. They really have. So I will. This is good. I've got wobblies. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me go back to talking to you. There we are. I'm back. So, talking about the garden, seeing as we're in August, everything should be in full bloom, and we should be starting to harvest things and enjoying what we've been growing. But in this country, I don't know about some of the other countries. I think a lot of Europe's had it as worse than we have. But a lot of people are really struggling with their gardens. I know 50 Shades of Green, you've got a lot of problems with the hot weather and not being able to water very easily and losing stuff. But my garden actually is not too bad, is it? It's quite green and quite good because of the effort that went in the spring to get a dripper system in. So I've not been using an awful lot of water, but they have been constantly being watered. So what's done well this year is the sunflowers. And if I can find a photograph of the sunflowers in a minute, if I can go around my photos and find it. My friend decided she needed to take a photograph to show her mother because they were that big that she couldn't believe how big they were. And I've been struggling to try and get a photograph because it's a bit awkward, especially when you're on your own, to try and get it in perspective. You'll have to hang on a minute because I can't get things to work again. So the sunflowers have done really well, and comparing them to the allotment, when I grew them at the allotment, they're 3 times, 4 times as big. And I don't know why I'm having problems with this computer tonight again. I'm always having problems. Doing a lot of jumping about. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get you a photograph of these. Oh, well, I'll come back to it. Right, comparing them to when I grew them in at the allotment. I think the problem with the allotment, it was very open. We had a lot of wind, where the garden here is very sheltered. So wind makes a difference to plants. Same as the butternut squash. I'm not having no trouble with butternut squash. On the allotment, I used to have trouble with butternut squash because it used to blow across. And it was, if there was a frost, a late frost, it was at, it's way open. So they used to really cop it for a late frost. So I think the wind and the state of the soil, because the allotment it wasn't that great really. And I'd got to spend, I'd only had that allotment a couple of years, and I got to spend a lot of time improving the soil, where now I'm at home with raised beds and do a no dig system, and we just put manure and in fact any weeds or anything that I pull up at the end of the year all just get put on the top of the beds, and then they're covered up for the winter, and then the worms do the work for me. So we've got better quality soil. We've had loads of sun, which they've liked, and the dripper system, it goes past the sunflowers to go into the tunnel. So every time the tunnel's been watered, they've been watered. And this year I've concentrated on making sure that I make my liquid feed. So we've had comfrey feed and we've had nettle feed. And so everything's been fed regular. So it makes a big difference to the plants if they get all the things that they really like. So loads of stuff that you do properly. Right, I'm going to see if I can find this picture of these sunflowers. There we are. Hold on, I've found it. Just bear with me 1 minute while I get it up.
Now, Tina, does your nettle tea and does it smell?
Yes, it does.
Okay, when you take it out of the original batch that's brewing, put in vanilla extract. It cuts the smell completely, almost to nothing.